Hello and welcome back to BallySprings. We are still in August month 2 and there is a telehandler bucket right by my head. Last time out we did the triticale and oat harvests up in the fields 106, 107 and I believe it is, well, 109. We also did mint in 108. We have still fields to fertilise, but the most important things which we need to do today are our potatoes. As we saw in the last episode, they are ready and needing to remove foliage. So if we just have a look at what looks to be, they look withered. Usually they still have a nice fluffy top to them, but what's different, they look basically dead on this, but they are not. They are in the perfect state for us to pick up and sell. So we need to make some choices in terms of what we're doing. We are obviously going to have to sell these off the field, and in terms of price for them, they are not the best, not the worst, but it does look as though we are going to the BallySpring Mart to be able to sell them. So what do we have in terms of options? Sorry, the sale always takes ages to load on the first time on this map. So we have this option here, which has a 2,000 litre capacity, which might be painful. We have the harvester at the shop already, but it is huge. The other option we have is using this as kind of a front foliage cutter, and then this to collect. And I'm hoping this will act as a little bit of storage for then us to run with a tractor besides. Actually, we can have the topper on this as well, so we don't need... Part of me's thinking this. Because then we can get the smaller tractor going with it. I think this is a safer option. It's the fact that we know that this has 2,000 litres of capacity. I don't like the colour. I don't like that colour. Not really a fan of that colour, but I think it's the lesser of the two evils. Right. £499. We could have two of them running. But we are definitely going to go for that one. So I think we get into wherever he is. No, that'll take months to get down there. This one. Let's get into the Massey and let's get down to the shop and pick up our smaller potato harvester. The other problem which we'll have with the bigger harvester is I don't think we have the horsepower to be able to pull it. It's essentially the number one problem. Right, let's enjoy the bumpiness of the Irish lanes, get down to the shop, collect the harvester, and yeah, let's actually start with a potato harvest. While we're on our way past, I thought we'd drop into the local Texaco. That's 179.9. That's quite expensive for unleaded, and diesel's remarkably cheaper. Okay. If you're not from the UK, petrol is usually like 10 to 12p cheaper. Right, so this is what we're talking about. So this harvester would really struggle to get into the fields and get out of the fields. It also requires a horsepower requirement, which we don't have. However, it does have the capacity to lift up 2 rows. This, a single row. It's small and it's more nimble, shall we say, than the bigger option. And that's why I think it's the sensible option to go for. So, yeah, we have it. The other option, which we need to try and assess, is at the moment we are selling pretty much every single cereal crop we have harvested direct off the field. The reason behind it is, yes, we have storage space for it, but we don't have the ability to dry our crop. And therefore, if we store from August to January, which is most commonly the best sell price for the product, we will degrade in quality. I have no reason, no understanding of why we had a decent lag spike there. Yeah, we won't. We'll lose the quality of the crop. So we need a form, or we would like to have a form of drying. So I'm hoping, lots of hope on the series, that the potatoes generate enough income that we are able to get a silo on our farm. I have an idea where I want to put it, and would like to utilise that. So yeah, potatoes from the field should generate enough money, which then when we come to do the corn harvest, we can keep the crop, we can dry the crop and keep the crop until January at its best selling price. However, the silage maize will obviously be turned into silage. I'm trying to figure out if we've made a mistake. So as soon as I've driven into the crop, it has done this. The other problem which I'm having is in terms of moving bunker up and down, nothing seems to happen. So wrong button. Turn on harvester. Again, nothing's happening with moving bunker up and down. And I'm worried as we're driving through the crop, it's destroying it. So have we already made a mistake? It's not the end of the world, because this is not exactly the most expensive option in the world. So that's another £408, and that is 2,346. So my only annoyance is I have to drive back to the shop again. Right. Otherwise, we are just using the massive harvester, which we said we were going to use anyway. So, alright, let's try and sort this out. Usually, potatoes don't have crop destruction on it at this stage. Right. Sorry, my brain is confused. I'm trying to compute things slowly whilst trying to talk about it. Take 2. Let's hope we don't have to get to a take 3. So lower topper, I'm assuming. So right, let's get nearer to the field. Right, lower topper. Turn on topper. I was hoping it would be a bit wider than this, but there doesn't seem to be anything that unfolds. And is that actually doing anything? Right, let's turn on the back piece. Lower harvester. Right, that's that done. By just driving a straight line. Yes, potatoes are being picked up. That's a very good start. So, where are they going? So if we, as an example, set AI worker, work the headlands off, we can kick this off. Okay, where is the Fiat? So, learn to farm. I'll teach Jimmy to farm by the looks of things today. Right, where is I would have put it somewhere sensible, surely. Surely would have put it somewhere sensible. Right, at least the pipe comes out. There it is. Right in front of us. Cows are having a great time laughing at me. Right. There are also a couple of things I wanted to try and kick off today. Well, not necessarily August month 2, but certainly if we put this here. My worry is, am I killing off the crop, basically? I don't want to have to drive all the way down the shop to reconfigure the trailer. If I am destroying the crop, this is... Right. So, by looks of things, I'm going to have to go reconfigure the trailer. This is... I will sell my 274 litres of potatoes. So we're trying this via Courseplay now. And again, what I am worried about is that I am essentially just destroying the crop by driving repeatedly on this. So the worker didn't like the setup. So where is he going? Let's have a look. Star. Let's turn on. Where's the start point for him? This probably looks awful on the stream, and I can understand why you feel that way. It is doing something. Yes. Okay, cool. Right. Where is Fiat? Fiat is here. So it does look as though it is loading something. So has he stopped, or is he... just going for another lap somewhere else? Go for a cup of tea. So I've just come from there, and I would very much like not to have to go back. Okay, now it's starting there. Safe to say I have no idea what's going on here. And he's off again. Stopping? Nope, you're going again. Let's try. Let's try and get something from there into here. Alright, so that's... I want... just basically want to see if it says harvested. Yeah, I am essentially destroying the crop every time I drive over stuff on here. I'm not turning off crop damage because that's not the way I like to play. I hope you appreciate my honesty. I could sit here and edit all this out. I think we go with the original option of the big harvester. Let's turn this off. I think we go with the original option of the big harvester, but what we're going to need is a beast of a tractor to be able to pull it. Something like that. Be a nice addition to the farm. That's a 223. Or we could just lease it, would probably be the more sensible option. So we need something that's over 200 horsepower, so that would be okay if we... these fence might be a better option. We have this, we have John Deere, that's the one we currently got on the farm. The stayer's not enough. I think we go for one of these beastie fence. So that's 170. That's 260. We could rent that for 4,600. Right. I would like to say I'm not getting frustrated and annoyed with myself, but I am. Right, let's get back to the field and hopefully, eventually, someday, we can get harvesting. The other thing is, could we have just gone with the original one which we rented? I don't know. If I wasn't on YouTube, I'd probably swear. Go away. Right, so that topper won't basically do everything which we want it, and normally I would keep crop destruction on for everything I do. However, I don't think my sanity can take it. So let's go into... I'm going to use Courseplay, and we're going to go to first waypoint, field work. We're going to check on 8 headers. We're going to start on the center. We're going to create the course. Of course, it's going to stick me at the other end. If I press it again, nothing happens. Right, let's start. And let's see if this actually works. We do have our tractor over there. And I am partly curious about the other harvester which we've got and if it will work. But at least with this one, we have some capacity to be able to do something and wait until we actually get a full load. So that is starting. So there is the starting position. Obviously we know we've harvested this bit and we are actually getting some crop in. So that's good news. Bad news is we've obviously taken an hour from today to be able to get to this point. There is the other risk which I want to take, because it's been so profitable and easy this time around, is what is in the sale. And in the sale is this. So this will basically add the potatoes or sugar beets and will create nicely packed pallets which we can sell. Perfect. So we are going to buy that for £25,000. Yay. And what I remember seeing in the last episode is there is a tractor demo, which is this case IA, which we're going to take. Did I sign up to the winter crop scheme? Is not on here. So what we now have is a 4th tractor on the farm, which is this tiny case. So what we should be able to do is load the pallets in, load the potatoes in, which will create pallets, which will make it hopefully a little easier to transport when we get there, so we don't have to keep doing trips back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Plan is to use this then to push them into pallet storage, so we can dump the potatoes into the hopper for this, and yeah, drop it into pallet storage, which means we don't have to continuously run back and forth to the shop. Pretty much got a full hopper in the potato harvester, so we are going to empty it as best as we can, and then I can show you, hopefully, my little mini plan. So Fent is doing fantastic. It also having the Fent solves another problem which we're going to have shortly, which he'll be drilling in the fields. Come on, Massey. Needs some traction with a massive weight of 12,000 litres on the back of it. There we go. Got some traction on the front wheels. Let's go over our cropped damage, or our path back and forth through. Why didn't I just go with the original plan? With the original suggestion. That would have been a lot easier. Right, so what we are doing. So we can tip this in here. We can go into here and enable pallet creation X, and this will then essentially drop the potatoes into here. What we then need is our telehandler, which is here, with the pallet fork on it, which is somewhere. I was around the back of everything, so it's handy positioned, conveniently positioned. Drop it somewhere where we might find it in future. I didn't want to do that. I'm probably blocking it in, which is good news. Right, so we should now be able to drop this down, pick up, move out of the way, and another pallet should start being created. Yes. So every time when we load up, we'll have this to do while the harvester continues to go around and has a good time. We can obviously just push it the way, but yeah, so hopefully we'll end up with a serious amount of potatoes which we can transport in an easier way, and we can stay in fields as opposed to travelling back and forth to a sell point. That is one part of the plan that has actually partly worked today, from my incompetence with a telehandler. Okay, let's have some fun. Welcome back. We've kind of updated our system a little bit to be a bit more speedy, I think. So harvesting is still going on. We're going to be doing the headlands ourselves, because I don't think Courseplay is going to manage to do that. We also need to be quite selective on what side we go round. But we've got 11,000 litres in here, and I'm going to show you our new little strategy. Yes, I know you're blocked by an object. The object is me. Slowly trundling along the field. So here we go. We're going to pick up some speed. We're going to be almost rapid as we're going back to the tipper. I also just want to have a quick check in terms of when's the best sell price for these. And I've blocked myself in.
So let's get into the telehandler and reverse out. Oh no, I actually wanted to go that way around. Silly boy, again. So as you can see, we've got a number of potatoes already in there. I will need to be careful not to bash that because it will ruin my little system. So let's get this perfectly positioned. And you'll see what I mean in terms of the strategy. So we can tip that in there. Let's go to the telehandler. Oh, it's working. Okay, cool. Just wanted to double check. So you can see the conveyor belt fills the potatoes, and all we have to do is this. Drop off. Happy days. And then the next one starts filling. So yeah, that is our little game which we're playing to load the potatoes. In terms of actual crop, I'm hoping, yes, potatoes 27,000, and we've earned a massive £12,459, and that's going to be best sell price in December. So we're currently £50 short of the best opportunity to do that. So potatoes, yeah, so it'll come up to about 460 potentially, so we're about mid-range in the price side of things. So yeah, we've got a lot of potatoes to harvest despite us destroying quite a bit of crop, and hopefully we can get this field done today, hopefully. And that is the end of stage 1 of the great potato harvest. It has been emotional. It's 7:10. That Fent has been fantastic, and I might keep it for a little while because we have some plans for it. In terms of potatoes, we have a few. So I think there's about 140 pallets in there. And I haven't checked this yet, so let's have a quick look and see what the value of that. That's 67, almost £68,000, which will be in December. I would like to try and sell it before. And potatoes is creeping, so we might get October might be the point where we're able to sell it. And the reason behind that is because there are some silos which I've added in. So this one, as an example, 36,000 should. It's only got a 54,000 litre capacity, but it should keep some stock in, and I'm looking to put it back here just to tie that over. We do have another field of potatoes, which is here, which we are going to harvest in August month 3. So everything else would have been picked up and harvested, and yeah, I'm not enjoying this conveyor belt, so I might sell that, and we can put the potatoes either in this shed here or in one of these 2 bays here. That is our options, but we're going to go to sleep and see what the weather's like next month. Good morning, it's 8:25, and we're going to set some plans away for today. So the first thing which we want to do is get the Fiat doing its favourite job of ploughing. If we look at the potato field, or the former potato field of harvest, it needs ploughing before we put any more crops into the ground, and I'm tempted to use this as an additional pasture as well, or potentially sheep's. Not entirely sure. So where we found success with ploughing is going to be around we're using course play. So we go, let's have a look how many rounded corners we got for. Okay, let's generate the course, and we can begin. So this is going on course play for ploughing, and hopefully we'll have a nice ploughed field. We've made a mess of it with crop damage when we were doing our initial attempts at potato harvesting. So yeah, that's all in. This trailer is going to be replaced with the larger trailer. because we're going to load our potatoes rather than into trailer, or the palletizer, should we call it. We're going to load it into one of our sheds, just for ease. One, I don't think we're going to have enough room. So what we might as well do before we start harvesting is sell this palletizer. We only picked it up last month, but it was painful. So we're going to drive down to the shop, sell the pallet maker, and possibly pick up some conveyor belts in future to move the potatoes from our shed into a trailer, which we can then sell. So hopefully won't be too long until we can actually get back into the fields and do some more potatoes. May have caused a little bit of chaos on the road on the way down here, but largely we're here. So let's get this into the workshop, which isn't open until 9 AM by the looks of things. Right, we're going to have a quick nap in our cab, and miraculously it is 9 AM. There we go. Right, so shed opens, happy days. Let's get this thing sold. Already at work, that's just nice. So paint condition 536, 4,800, and we have a value of £34,000 to be able to sell it. There we go, 34,407. That's made our bank balance look an awful lot prettier. What stupid thing can we buy? Anything in the sale. That Steiger is interesting. And whatever else. That sprayer's still there. With the weed seeker. Maybe a later purchase. Another plough. I'm sure the Fiat would appreciate it. Baler and a Deutzvat. That has quite impressive horsepower for what it is. Okay, I think we sleep on that potentially. So let's get back to the farm, and we are all prepared and ready to go. Massey 3670 has the big trailer. We have the Fent on and started. Let's drop that. Turn on and let's get harvesting. See if we get more potatoes from this field than we did the last one, when we got about 147,000. So, which was about £60,000, I think, in potential money.
Country girl. Strike that match, see what we mean. Country girls don't scare easy. Boots kicked off and we run that free. Laugh too loud, ride too fast, leave a memory you can't outlast. We don't wait for the world to turn. We are the spark and the lesson learned. Hearts on fire, that's the deal. You can't tame us, country girl.
And that is the great potato harvest completed. It was actually quite good doing it myself as opposed to just getting a worker doing it and ferrying it. However, I do have something quite exciting to show you in terms of what we've managed to produce. So we've got 18,000 in this trailer, and at risk of doing the usual crash bang wallop. There we go. There it is. least haven't managed to get myself stuck yet. There we go, through. We have a lot of potatoes in storage, so we've already seen, you can probably see it in the distance, we've already seen this pallet shed full of potatoes, and then this, I think, is quite impressive. I think we've got more than 140,000 litres of potatoes in here. Hopefully it'll all unload into one. Nope. A little bit more. A little bit more. There we go. Good news is we don't have to crush it or flatten it like we would on silage. But that is a monstrous proportion of potatoes. It's, as you can see, it's 12:51. I think we started at 8:30 and on ×2 speed, so that's taken us about 2¼ hours to do all that potato harvest in just that one field. Whew. Well, we're going to leave it there. So we've learned a few lessons. Just stick with the equipment which we get given at the start rather than trying to mess around. I think was possibly our most important lesson, and also potatoes yield quite well. So if we've got already in here, so it won't show what we've got on the floor, 147,000. If we've got around 300,000, that might be about 140,000 pounds worth of potatoes. It feels like our first time where we're really going to have the opportunity to progress in terms of money and see what we can do in terms of expansion. Next time out, we've got clover and alfalfa, and we might have time, we should have time to then get into, see if we can jump this. Oh, we can't jump that. Might have some time to get into the cornfields as well. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and if you've done so, please remember to like and subscribe, and we'll hopefully see you again soon. Bye bye.